Hey guys, Tom here with another Unity 2D, 3D, no, Unity 3D, 2D top-down RPG tutorial. We really need to come up with an easier name. Alright, so last episode I did say leave a comment or whatever on what you want to do, but then I decided, hey, if we're going to have bows or swords that get upgraded in the future, it'd probably be easier to just have them as a item that is instantiated in the holding. So let's get right to it. Alright, so what we would need to do is, let's start off by creating a folder, and it's called weapons. You can call it whatever you want. So create a new C# script and type sword, and open that up. Remove this, and in here we need two floats. So a public float min damage and a public float max damage, and then a private float real damage. So if we have a public void real damage, public void attack, we want to have first real damage equals real damage equals random dot range between min damage and max damage. So actually, this will be fine. So if we go to up here, this is a very useful website. It's the Unity documentation, right? So you go to scripting reference, and we want a on trigger enter. Give it a second to load. So we want collision on trigger enter. Yeah. Yep. So if we just copy this for a second, make sure you're in C#, copy it twice. We want on trigger enter and on trigger exit. So what we want is, we want a public, we're just gonna have a public for debugging purposes, and we want it to be an entity, and we want it to be an array list of entities. So we do that, and then we do enemy in range. So we do, in here we want if other dot get component entity does not equal, actually we'll do a entity temp ent equals other dot get component entity, and then if temp ent does not equal null, then we do enemy dot enemy in range dot let's just do an ID quickly. Sorry about this. We just do int index equals enemy in range dot length, and we want to do +1. And in here, if we just do index is equal to temp int, and then we just copy that. In here, we just want enemy in range dot get index 2 seconds. Alright, here's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna do a public list of, up here just add a using system.collections.generic, and we want to do a public list of entities, enemy in range equals new list of entities. And in here we do entity temp ent equals new entity, and then we do temp ent x. So then we do temp, oh yeah, you just add 2 brackets to instantiate it. So we do temp ent x dot we just pretty much do I'm pretty sure we can just do enemy in range dot add, and we just add temp ent. I think that works. Oh yeah, that should work like that. So if you do enemy in range dot get index of temp ent, we'll just do it int index equals, and then just copy that, put that there, and then we just do enemy dot remove enemy in range index, and that should work. So if we click play and we go to our, actually first on your holding, let's give it a circle collider 2D, and we want that circle collider 2D to be, we'll make it 2, yeah, and it's just in the range of the sword, wherever the sword will be, and we'll make it a trigger, and for now we'll just add sword. I'll show you what we're going to do with this in a second. And we'll make min damage 10 and max damage 35. So we click play, we should be having that, but it seems to not be working. I'm just adding that for test. You don't need to add that. This is just for testing. It just shows you my testing process when I think something's wrong. Alright, I'm back. Okay, there's a really silly mistake. Just make that on trigger enter 2D and collider 2D, and do the same with that and with that. What we're also going to do is go to our entity class, and we want to add a public bool is hostile. Do we have that in attacking? No. So we just have a public bool is hostile, right? So in our sword class, what we'll do is if temp ent dot is hostile, and then that should only add them to our up here if they're hostile. So let's go to our prefabs, these guys, and let's make them hostile. Press save, click play. Actually, stop. Go to our holding and watch this. So you see it's still 0, but as soon as these bad boys come, we have 3 hostiles. Alright? So if we click it now, what we want to do is we want to do for each entity E in enemy in range, we're going to do E dot take health real damage. So we have a if input dot get mouse button down 0, we want to attack. So what this is checking is on your mouse from 0 to 2, so from left to right is 0 is your left mouse button, 1 is your middle click button, so the button that, yeah, and 2 is your right click, so that one. Alright, so save that. Oh yeah, let's just convert these to int and int. That should work. Yeah, also convert that to int. And if we click play, pause for a second, come to these guys, click on one of them, and now if we click unpause, you see his health is 100, we click, it's not dying. Oh, let's also just make a check. So we don't constantly add. Let's just make sure. If we just want one more, if enemy in range dot index of temp ent equals null, then we just want to add them because we don't want it to constantly add. Let's try that really quickly. So we click play. Now it's not working at all. Let's just do that, and we just do return. Let's try that. Oh, this also has to be 20 and 35. Actually, make that 15. Again, not working. And it's not working. I'm back in a sec. Alrighty, I'm back. So if we just do if enemy dot in range dot contains, and we do temp ent, we just want to return. So if we click play now, pause, click play, you'll see we get 3, and as we walk around there's still 3, and as we walk away they all leave. When they come back, they all come back. So now if we click on our enemy, you see he's got 100 health. We go into game, and if we click, it takes their health until they're dead, and you see they die, which is good. So now if we just go to attacking mob, on function die, we just do game object destroy. Sorry, can we just do destroy, and then you do game object. So now we can attack these guys, which I don't think is working. Oh well, it is working. We just need to fix this up. So has it got a die function? Let's just have an update. If health is lower than or equal to 0, they would just want to die. I'm pretty yeah, that should work. So if we go to Unity, click play, walk up to our enemies, we can kill them. Alright, 2 seconds, I'll be back. Alrighty, so finally we want to add our item to our player inventory, which is going to be a bit tricky. So we might just do a weapon holder instead. Right, so if we go to inventories player and we do weapon manager, right, we open this up, remove this, up here do using system.collections.generic. I'm just gonna rush through this, so I'll explain in a sec. And we do a system.serializable, and we do a public class, and we do weapons. Right, now we do public string name. Let's have a public enum. 2 seconds. We'll make an enum, and we'll have it as weapon type, right? And we'll just have sword and bow. So what an enum is it's basically gives you an option. I'll show in a second. So if we do a public, make that a capital W, weapon type. So I'll show you what it is. In player, if we drag our weapon manager onto it, also up here just add a public list of weapons, and we'll call it weapons. And you'll see our weapons, if we want to create one weapon, and we'll call it wood sword. And in here, let's just give it capitals. It's either a sword or it's either a bow. We come here, you can see you can choose between these two. So we want it to be a sword. Okay, and now this will be what we currently hold, and we'll have a public bool is holding. And so in our player class, do we have a player class? No, we don't. So in update, we want a actually we do have a player class, don't we? So in player, we want a weapon manager, a public weapon manager, and in update we want to do a for each. Also in weapons we want to have a public sprite weapon sprite. So in player we want to do for each weapons w in weapon manager dot weapons. I'm going to do if w dot holding. Then we just basically do weapon sprite parent dot sprite is equal to w dot weapon sprite. So yeah, so in holding we also want to do in this, we want to do if w dot weapon type is equal to weapon type dot sword. We want to do weapon sprite parent dot add dot 2 seconds. Sorry about that. Just do dot game object dot add component, and we want to add a sword, and then we'll just do a sword equals weapon sprite parent dot game object dot add component sword, and we just do sword dot min damage. For now we're just gonna always have it as 15, and sword dot max damage equals 25. $89. Oh yeah, sorry, this is the equal. Can we do as sword? Do 6. Sorry, just make this in as a string. So if we remove this, we go to our player and we make is holding, and if we go to our project and we make our sprite sheet, oh, that might not work. Let's just hope it works. We do drag that there, and for now let's go to our holding and let's remove that and set this to none for now. If we click play, oh yeah, quickly on the player, we give, it needs a weapon manager, so we drag player onto itself as weapon manager, click apply. If we click play, he now has a sword, and he should theoretically let me just find him. Holding should have, wow, stop. Just copy that for a sec. put that into start. Oh, that got a bit out of hand. So if we click play, you should see that it gets a sword script. And he's holding, and we can also kill enemies. Alright, so that's been that episode. We'll expand upon that in a future episode. Thank you for watching. Hope you had a good time, and I will see you next time.